call the Committee on Environment, Climate, and Legacy to order. Let the record show that today is Tuesday, March 18th at 3:07 p.m. And I see Senator Mann's already at the table. We haven't had quorum. We are not in quorum yet, but soon, as the member arrive, we will announce when our committee is in quorum. We'll begin hearing the bills, and Senator Mann is already here. We have 11 legacy bills today, so it's going to be a full day, full agenda today. So thank you, Senator Mann, for being here. If you have testifier, do come to the table. And Senator Mann, anytime, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate File 2070 is a legacy proposal, very great legacy proposal from CLUES, Minnesota's largest Latino-led nonprofit. For over 40 years, CLUES has fostered economic prosperity and community wellness in the Twin Cities Metro and more recently in Greater Minnesota. Part of this work is done by celebrating local Latino artists and promoting cultural heritage under the theme of La Cultura Cura, or Culture Heals. CLUES does this work through gallery exhibits, art education workshops, and community festivals. A legacy appropriation would help CLUES continue this transformational programming and expand it to new audiences to meet the demand for programming both the Twin Cities and Greater Minnesota. With that, I'll kick it off to my testifiers, Mr. Chair.
Welcome, and do state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Mr. Chair, my name is Ruby Lee, President of CLUES. And thank you so much for giving us the time, and Mr. Chair and members of the committee. First of all, I want to thank Senator Mann for authoring our bill, and certainly the chair and Senator Howe for co-authoring the bill and for your ongoing support of our organization in cultural development and economic advancement for the Latino community in Minnesota. Our 45-year-old organization provides holistic, multi-generational health and socioeconomic services to thousands of people annually. Last year alone, we reached over 40,000 people through our programs and events. At CLUES, we understand that besides advancing social and economic drivers for our community, we are uniquely qualified to foster a sense of belonging for many in our community. We live our mission by delivering daily on our motto, La Cultura Cura, or culture is healing, as we believe that cultural engagement brings us together in unique ways and gives us a form of expression that rebuilds the soul and the spirit. Thanks to a $500,000 appropriation from the Legacy Fund in 2023, we have been able to foster cultural engagement and community celebrations that bring people together, providing a different form of expression through artistry and cultural celebrations. Minnesota's Latino population today surpasses 350,000 people who are dispersed throughout the state. Increased funding from the Legacy Fund through SF 2070 will help us expand cultural programming that will help us preserve and celebrate Latino culture and engage established and emerging artistry in delivering community well-being and building social capital through the arts. Our Director of Arts, Dr. Carla Manzoni, will further introduce you to some of our programming.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, Senator Howe, and committee. I'm Dr. Carla Manzoni. I'm the Director of Arts and Cultural Engagement at CLUES. With CLUES now serving 45,000 Latinos in 2024, we really know what we believe that culture heals you. Our work has been led by a team of culture-specific educators, and we infuse art and culture to boost wellness, economic development, community building, and intergenerational education. The results are really outstanding. 2,000 people visited our CLUES gallery, the only Latino gallery in the state. 16,000 people participated in culturally specific programming. 50 artists were connected with our work. 2,350 people attended our 12 educational workshops, and we have a foot traffic of 20,000 people in our building, and many of them walk to our gallery. So they have an opportunity to walk into a gallery for the first time. Cultural-specific programming is centered on accessibility, empowerment, and empathy. I ask you to support Senate File 2070 to fund us through 2027. With continued support, we will expand programming to new audiences and meet the demand in Greater Minnesota. We are planning traveling exhibits and digital gallery shows, educational retooling, and more materials so that more people can access art and culture. Funding will also allow CLUES to emphasize Latino heritage by developing programs that are community-based and research-informed, taking art into public spaces and also through community festivals, supporting Latino artists gain new tools through professional development, art commissioning, exhibitions, business development, and all of the opportunities to help them reach larger audiences. Last Saturday, we had more than 300 people attend our Women's Month celebration, Cafecito de Hermanas, which was the opening reception for the Connective Thread exhibition by artista Adriana Gordillo right next to me. And I invited her to share a little bit about her experience working with CLUES. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And next testify, please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Adriana Gordillo, and I am a Latina artist, poet, and Spanish educator. My art explores how women cut the ideas that hurt us and continue weaving the ones that help us thrive. As an emerging yet middle-aged Latina artist, finding opportunities to have a solo exhibit is not easy. But because CLUES is an institution driven by Latinos for Latinos, they saw the cultural and intergenerational potential of my work. I can reach an astonishing amount of people with my art because it is exhibited at CLUES. People running errands in the neighborhood stopped by as I was installing my work, so I was connected with my community from the get-go. CLUES also gave me access to new and broader audiences as they created bilingual materials for my art in Spanish and English. Exhibiting my work at CLUES has allowed me to connect with my community, build new networks, and continue growing my creative and educational work so we can thrive together. Finally, I'd like to invite you to my exhibit. You have pictures of it in your handout, so you can experience for yourselves the connective power that CLUES has to the Latino community and see how when CLUES supports Latino artists, all Minnesotan grow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for the testimony. Any question from members? Okay. Well, I want to thank CLUES and Senator Mann for bringing this CLUES project forward. I do have a question to maybe Ruby, Director. Being that we just learned that our target is changing a little bit, little lower now, and I want to ask mainly those requests that are over $500,000, and I'm proud to be on the bill. I'm full support of it. I would like to maximize as much as I can, but would this project be scalable by chance?
Mr. Chair, we, in years past, we had come forward with the request of the Legacy Fund, and for the first time in 2023, we came with the same amount of requests, but we're funded only at $500,000. That really not allows us to sustain, staff and programming and engage new artists to do work in other areas. So in order for us to be able to meet the demand and be able to expand through new venues of communication, we do need additional funding.
Okay, thank you very much. Senator Mann, any closing remark? Okay, well, good. Thank you for coming to present your bill for CLUES and service in the arts community. With that, we will lay over Senate File 2070 for possible inclusion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next is Senator Champion, Senate File 2158, Phyllis Wheatley Community, and if there's any testifier, do come to the testimony table.
Hello there, Chair.
Welcome.
Good to see you.
And, yep.
It's good to see the rest of the committee as well.
I know we have busy schedule, but I'm very loose on the 2 minutes thing, so yourself, take your time. Your testimony is okay. They can
I like that,
go
Senator
beyond
Hurd.
that approximately time of 2 minutes.
Well, I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, but do the best I can to put this bill in context so that my testifiers will stick to their 2 minutes, because we sincerely appreciate you and the committee's time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Phyllis Wheatley Community Center has been a cornerstone of North Minneapolis community for over 100 years. Let me repeat that. Over 100 100 years. They've been providing programs and services that empower individuals and families, and funding that would support the Mary T. Welcome Child Development Center, artistic and cultural digital programming for marginalized youth, as well as trauma and restorative programming. One of the other programs that you know, amongst other things that Phyllis Wheatley has done, whether it's been a history of Golden Glove, boxing, whether it's been helping communities and families through domestic violence and abuse, whether it's men and women. It's just a number of things that they've done. And one of the programs that you know of very well is Camp Parsons. And what's interesting about Camp Parsons is the fact it was founded before the environmental movement was established. Right. Most people think it's the other way around, but in fact, they were already providing this service and understanding the importance of outside and the environment and taking care of it, but also understanding the value of being outdoors. So like other impactful programs that they have understood and has developed programming that enhances the lives of children and families. And you should have received this document that's a part of your package. And I'm just going to quickly remind you that why this funding matters. Phyllis Wheatley serves a diverse and historically marginalized population, providing safe spaces for artistic expression, personal growth, and healing. And this funding will allow them to expand their music education with other partner organizations like Walker West, which provides interactive developmentally enriching music sessions to pre-K children in their Mary T. Welcome Child Development Center. And additionally, Walker West collaborates with youth in their digital programs to integrate music composition and sound designs into game development, fostering both technical skills and artistic expression. We know that there's a well-known study by Harvard that says there is a nexus between academics and art. Yes. And the more they can be exposed, children can be exposed to academic and art, it will increase their academic performance. This funding would also increase access to dance through partnership with Lundstrom Performing Arts, expanding a new ballet program that builds discipline, creativity, and confidence. And it was launched last fall, and the ballet program, though was small, has been a tremendous success where it has enhanced discipline and confidence. But all that is to say, and there's so much more that we can say about Phyllis Wheatley and the services that they provide and why this funding would be so necessary. I don't want to take all the thunder from my witnesses. I want to leave them something to say as well, because I could talk about this program forever because they've done so many amazing things. And with that being said, Mr. Chair, I have two testifiers, and they recognize that they can only speak for like 2 minutes. Yep. Right? Yes, and one is Armando Dickerson. He's the manager of operations and programs. And then we'll hear from Zena Johnson, who's the director of Mary T. Welcome Child Development Center. And with that, thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you. And go ahead with the testifier. And if you're not in 2 minutes, I'm pretty sure Senator Champion will tell you.
That's right.
Like the Apollo Theater, you're bringing me in. Okay. Good afternoon, Chair and all the committee members. Once he said, my name is Armando Dickerson. I'm managing director over at Phyllis Wheatley Community Center. Thank you for allowing us to be able to come here and testify for this particular bill. It's critical because it allows us to be able to integrate arts and music into our trauma recovery programs. Just to give you an example, we have a program called HOPE, the acronym HOPE, helping our people evolve. And what that does is this bill will allow us to present painting, sculpture, storytelling, but also the research shows that therapy reduces anxiety because we have a lot of individuals that are coming to us that have experienced significant trauma. Also, we have something for the young folks, as well as you mentioned, the Digital Tech Works program. We were working with Walker West, also with Ujamaa Place. We lost Chris Crutchfield not too long ago, but we were collaborating about what we could do for his musical production. We know that great music can touch the mind, soul, and body. It can even soothe the savage beast. So we want to make sure that you all understand what we are trying to do at Phyllis Wheatley. He mentioned 100 years. Think about it. 100 years we've been in the community serving the community. We are part of the community. And we want you all to pass this bill so that we can do another 100 years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's very compelling.
All right.
To the next testifier.
Zena Johnson.
Yep, and do state your name for the record.
My name is Zena Johnson. I'm the director for Mary T. Welcome. First of all, I want to thank you for allowing us to come. I'll try to stay in 2 minutes. Mary T. Welcome again, we're in the 100th year. We've been around for years, serving the north side of Minneapolis. I've been part of Phyllis Wheatley growing up. Mary T. Welcome, the music part of Mary T. Welcome has been instrumental for our children's development. We have a lot of children who are on the spectrum, and through the music, it has allowed them to express themselves through music, through dance, through colors, and it's opened up a world of understanding and allowed them to interact and be a part of their school and the community with children, allowing them to relate to other children. So the music has been such an inspiration for our program. It has allowed us to grow and allow children to prosper. As a matter of fact, a few of them who've never picked up instruments before now play the drums and think they're musicians and they can sing and they can dance now and they choreograph dance themselves. So it has played a big part of our growth in the center and continually does. And we work with Walker West, and they have been great in coming in and making sure that we are prospering in the community as we continue to work with children in our community.
Thank you very much. That's short of 1 minute. That's good.
Hey, Mr. Chair, do you see how
yes.
efficient that they were?
It is. And thank you for bringing the persona and the job committee to here to get us on time so well. Any question from Senator Green?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Senator Champion, I don't see a number in here. Do you guys have the number?
Mr. Chair, Senator, you do not see a number in there because we're still, going through some of the tallies and looking at exactly what that number will be. But it's my understanding that this bill will be laid over for possible inclusion, and we'll make sure that there is a number and there's a justifiable number there.
Senator Green?
Mr. Chair, so thanks for that answer. Did you apply last year? And if so, what did you get last year?
Senator Champion.
Mr. Chair and Senator, no, they did not apply last year. They, carried this burden themselves.
Right.
And what this funding will do will just aid and abet their efforts to continue to expand the program because it's been really successful. And so we will not be asking for 100% of the funding from the state legislature. We'll be asking for support from the state legislature and still get, private investments and others as well.
Senator Green. Senator Kunesh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for bringing this forward. I can attest to this program that you all do. I was a teacher in North Minneapolis and then Robbinsdale for 25 years, and many of my students attended programs at the Phyllis Wheatley Center, and when in a time when we were closing down programs in the community, closing down programs in the parks, there weren't a lot of spaces for students to, kids to go to express their artistic and their musical talents or their interest in there. And the Phyllis Wheatley Center was always a safe place. And I remember them talking very, very much about, this is the one place my parents let me go to. So I appreciate hearing from you today. It brought back a lot of memories. I've got all kinds of my students' faces going through my memory bank right now, but thank you for the good work that you do.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other comment or question from members? Senator Champion, closing remark.
Closing remarks is that even though the Phyllis Wheatley Community Center is located in North Minneapolis, it is not only for North Minneapolis residents. They also, through their programming, even Mary T. Welcome, they have families that come from all over. So it's really a regional asset. So it's just not benefiting just North Minneapolis folks alone. Is open to all. And I just want you to know, when we invest in our children and when we use our artistic profession, it will enhance their lives. And the last thing that I'll say, I have met very few doctors, MDs, or lawyers who have not learned to play an instrument. So if you stop to think about it, we all had some learning to read music, choral, whatever it is. When children are put on that pathway to expressing themselves, but understanding that there's an academic aspect to it, we all benefit because we all reach for higher heights. So thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to the committee for allowing us to present this important and yet impactful bill. Yes.
Thank you, Senator Champion, for bringing music to the scene, and thank you, the Phyllis Wheatley and also the testifier for bringing 100 years to here.
Yes.
And we'll look into us contributing to the benefit of another 100 years. So thank you. With that, we lay Senate File 2158 for possible inclusion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Okay, next is my bill, and I'd like to pass the gavel to Senator McCune. And my bill is Senate File 2046, Gordan Parks celebrations.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to note for the record that we do have a quorum and that Senator Ann Johnson Stewart has joined us remotely and from St. Paul, but she is joining us remotely now. So Senator Hurd, to your bill.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. And members, Senate File 2046 is a bill commemorating our renowned American photographer, Gordan Parks. It asks for $800,000 in fiscal year 2026 from the Arts and Culture Heritage Fund to Minnesota Humanities Center to work on collaboration with Soul Touch Production to create an arts installation and programming to celebrate the incredible life and rich legacy of Gordan Parks. Gordan Parks was known for his work on issues of civil rights, poverty, race relation, and urban life, as well as capturing onto historic still photo that inspired many of us today. I have two esteemed testifiers. Next to me is the niece of Gordan Parks, Ms. Robin Hickman, and we all know next to her is our well-recognized former news anchor of WCCO, Mr. John Shelby. I'll pass the mic to Ms. Hickman first.
Hello. Thank you, Senator Hurd, and thank you. I'd like to thank the committee. One correction, if the senator knows, I'm now Mrs. Winfield. But it is an honor to be here and to be sitting next to the senator. I have brought with me Uncle Gordan. It's very important to always have him present. And in honoring him, I have to first open by sharing the words of a Gordan Parks High School scholar, where I have for the last 10 years, along with my cousin Anura, taught a Gordan Parks legacy class. Scholar Jason probably looks like your grandson, one of my scholars of a lighter hue. And I share his legacy masterpiece to illustrate that Uncle Gordan touched the souls of young people of all backgrounds. He writes, as a Parks scholar, my vision of purpose is to find my calling in this world. I've always felt confused for some reason, almost like something is calling my name in the back of my head, but I can't quite grasp it. I'd like to find it one day and I can live my life with purpose and no regrets about the past, as I will leave my confusion and self-doubt behind. I am a vision of purpose, Jason. I remember having conversations with Jason and him telling me, you know, I think my purpose is to serve this country. Well, over the holiday, after he graduated last year, he came back before going home in his full uniform, and he said, I wanted to come here first to see you guys. And we took a selfie under Uncle Gordon's portrait. That was a very heartwarming. This legacy statue will represent the light of legacy, the power of legacy, representing the legacy of a man who represents the best of Minnesota. A vision of possibilities for young people, for old folks, a man who left Kansas and came to Minnesota looking for opportunities and found it, who picked up a camera, and as he often said, shooting my camera proved to be more powerful than shooting a gun. I'm very emotional now because when I think about walking in his footsteps, as I have the honor of doing, standing alongside a woman who doesn't look like me, but in front of a classroom, pouring into young people who have often been dismissed and discounted. But this legacy pours into them, giving them hope. And that is what we want to do, leveraging legacy as a light of hope, purpose, possibilities, peace, power. I had the honor of walking in my uncle's footsteps and being a producer on an HBO documentary of his life, executive produced by Denzel Washington, and getting a call to screen that documentary in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. I'm a fifth-generation Minnesotan. So to go to Fergus Falls because they wanted the light of my uncle's legacy, that's proof that this black man who chose his weapon here in St. Paul and then went around the world spreading that light of artistic purpose, power, peace, wanted to lift up the people in Fergus, wanted to find hope in his artistic contributions. But we want him to return and stand in downtown St. Paul, surrounded by the places where he walked, as a waiter at the St. Paul Grill at the St. Paul Hotel, where he took his first fashion photographs at Frank Murphy's, working at the Minnesota Club. We want to include young people to help make that statue appear. When he passed away in 2006, and we had a memorial at the Historical Society, and Debbie Montgomery, councilwoman at that time, said, if we can have Snoopy on parade, we sure the heck can have a statue of Gordan Parks. So I have had many people work over the last 10 years to make sure that this is reality. But when I got a call from my dear friend Don Shelby that really hit it home about why this is so, so important, that we leverage the light of legacy at a time, for such a time as this. It is time. It is time that we lift him up as a light, like a light on a hill, to illuminate hope, peace, power, and possibilities. And I'd like to turn it to my friend Don, who's gonna really, it's not a family member, even though he calls him Uncle Gordon.
Thank you for your testimony. If you'd please introduce yourself for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Yes, Madam Chair, my name is Don Shelby, and I'm here on behalf of the project for Gordan Parks. I've been asked to testify on this bill, and thank you very much, Senator, for the introduction of this bill. This man and I go back a long way, and I trust him implicitly. I haven't done a 2-minute speech in my life.
It's hard. It's like hard.
When my wife likes to say, when you get up at night and go down to get a glass of milk from the refrigerator in the dark, when you open the refrigerator door and the light comes on, you do 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but I can be brief because I know this subject very well. I don't want to tell you when I was first touched by the work of Gordan Parks, but it was very, very early. And you have seen the pictures. If you've gone to MIA and you've seen the wonderful exhibit of this genius at work, I have to tell you how it started. He had no job, and he had a dream, and he had no skill. And he went to Frank Murphy at the Women's Clothiers in downtown St. Paul, and he said he was a photographer, but he was not. And he said, well, I need someone to do some fashion photography for me. Can you do it? And he said, yes, I can. And then he walked out and bought a camera. Never held a camera in his life. That's inspiring to me when compared that moment to the profound moments when you see those images that his eye was able to conceive of. Now, you've seen the pictures of mother and child in the Dust Bowl. Dorothea Lange shot those pictures, black and white. Profound images, but cannot even compare to the work of Gordan Parks. And it doesn't stop there. This multi-talented person found other ways to express. An Oscar for music, for a movie, a writer. And his choice of weapon was art, was the photograph. And that is an incredible message in today's society, that we have a choice to choose what weapon we use to fight for that which we believe in. I don't think there is anything greater that you can say about him, but that he was a man of peace, a man of art, and a man of genius, and a man of Minnesota. And in a time when we have to be concerned about DEI and presidential orders, this is no more DEI than to recognize Prince, to recognize Kirby Puckett, to recognize Muriel Humphrey, to recognize the greats that have been spawned in this state, not just for their achievements, but for their, as this committee is composed, their legacy. And the legacy means not only what they did, but what they continue to do when people know about that work. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you very much, Senator. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Members, are there any questions or comments for our testifiers or for Senator Herr? And Senator Herr, would you like to say anything before we have any discussion?
Yeah, thank you. I'm honored that Ms. Hickman or Mrs. Winfield here brought to me this request. And I'm honored that I get to carry the bill. St. Paul do have a space for Gordan Park, and let's make it happen. And so I need your support to pass this bill. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Senator. Members, any discussion, any questions? Okay. Well, not seeing any. Senate File 2046 is laid over for possible inclusion in the Legacy Omnibus Bill.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Senator Howe, welcome to the testify table. Anytime you're ready on your Senate File 1708.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Senate File 1708 is a request for $100,000 from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund for programming and educational opportunities to the Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame in Little Falls. With a land of 10,000 lakes, fishing is a very important piece of our heritage here in Minnesota. I'm a better hunter than a fisherman, but I continue to put a hook in the water, and it's probably the most relaxing peace and quiet I get because, as I said, I'm not a very good fisherman, so my hook doesn't get bit very often. But here to get more explicit on the request is I'll start with my testifier, Mr. Gary Osberg.
Welcome. Do state your name for the record.
Chair Herr and members of the committee, good afternoon. My name is Gary Osberg, a member of the board of Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on behalf of Senate File 1708. Thank you to State Senator Jeff Howe for authoring Senate File 1708. The Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame is in Little Falls, where the Mississippi pauses. It is a cornerstone of our state's rich fishing heritage. Our mission is simple but vital: to preserve the history and heritage of freshwater fishing in Minnesota, educate the public about the industry, and promote the sport of fishing for generations to come. Minnesota has long been known as the land of 10,000 lakes, a state where fishing is woven into the fabric of our communities, a tradition passed down from generation to generation, a way for families to connect with the outdoors, and a key driver of Minnesota's tourism economy. The Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame plays a crucial role in keeping this legacy alive. We are asking for funding to sustain and expand our educational programs, maintain our exhibits, and ensure the museum remains a valuable resource for Minnesotans and out-of-state visitors alike. For over 15 years, we've administered the Master Angler Program on behalf of the Minnesota DNR. The program honors anglers for their achievements and encourages responsible fishing practices. Funding will allow us to expand this program, recognizing even more anglers and reinforcing ethical fishing traditions. Conducting school tours of the museum and working with high school fishing leagues provide hands-on learning for students, teaching them about the history of fishing, conservation efforts, and sustainability. The Fishing for All Our Scouts program gives young folks, regardless of their socioeconomic status, the tools and skills to enjoy fishing. Scouts help refurbish rods and reels and distribute them to local community programs. One scout even earned the rank of Eagle through her involvement, proving how life-changing these opportunities can be. The museum is dedicated to preserving the art of spear fishing decoy carving, a tradition deeply rooted in Minnesota's culture. Led by retired teachers and past board members, we provide workshops where youth learn this craft and compete in our annual contest. Our annual Night with the Fishing Pros fundraiser, which is Friday, April 4th, connects the community with fishing guide legends, raising critical funds to support our operations while offering a once-in-a-lifetime educational experience. The museum's 270-gallon aquarium stocked with native Minnesota fish serves as a powerful educational tool, allowing visitors to experience aquatic ecosystems up close and learn about sustainable fishing practices. The Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame play an important active role in community education. We frequently serve as guest speakers for civic organizations like the Lions Club, Exchange Club, and Rotary. We are also honored to be featured speakers at this year's Minnesota Governor's Fishing Opener in Cross Lake. The Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame is more than a collection of artifacts. It's part of our state's history and future. With your support, we can continue to educate, inspire, and connect Minnesotans with the sport of fishing for years to come. Thank you once again to Senator Jeff Howe for authoring the bill, and thank you, Chair Herr, and the members of the committee for your time and attention.
Thank you very much. Next testifier, please state your name for the record.
Brenda Perlowski. Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm the Executive Director for the Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame, and I'm honored to represent the museum and the hall, a place where Minnesota's rich fishing heritage is preserved, celebrated, and passed on to future generations. Fishing is more than a sport in our state. It's a way of life. It connects families, teaches patience, respect for nature, and strengthens our communities. However, ensuring that this legacy endures takes constant effort, resources, and innovation. We are seeking funds to sustain and expand our programs that make a real impact on Minnesotans. Every day we work to educate, inspire, and engage people of all ages, but we face ongoing challenges that threaten our ability to maintain exhibits, enhance programming, and reach more communities. Here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about keeping a museum open. It's about preserving a legacy that defines Minnesota. If we don't protect and share our state's fishing heritage, who will? Future generations deserve more than stories. They deserve hands-on experiences that connect them to the traditions that shaped our communities. Without dedicated efforts to educate, engage, and inspire, the knowledge, history, and values tied to Minnesota fishing culture could fade. Our museum is more than a building, it's a living archive, a gathering place, and a bridge between past and future anglers. We take on this role because it matters. Because fishing isn't just a sport, it's a way of life in Minnesota. If we don't champion this cause, who will ensure that our traditions, our conservation efforts, and fishing heritage endure for generations to come? With your support, we can expand our reach, preserve our history, and make sure that fishing continues to unite families, educate youth, and strengthen our communities. I want to thank Senator Howe for introducing the bill, and I would like to thank the chair and the committee for having us here today.
Thank you very much. Any comment or question from members? Senator Howe, last remark?
Well, I think this is an important venture, and I appreciate your time and the opportunity to present the bill. Chair Herr. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll lay Senate File 1708 for possible inclusion. Next is Senate File 2448, Senator Kunesh. And to the all the testifiers for her bill do come to the testify table. Okay, there's one. One locally and two are on remote. Regional library system. Anytime you're ready, Senator Kunesh.
Thank you so much, Senator, for hearing this bill. For those of you who don't know, this is a very important bill to me. I myself was a library media specialist for 25 years in our public school system, and we know that information is knowledge is power, information is access, and it is absolutely vital that we continue to support our libraries in any way that we can. Minnesota has 12 regional public library systems and have been fortunate to be the recipients of Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund since 2009. Statewide, there are more than 28,302 programs, classes, and projects in partnership with arts and culture organizations, independent artists, historical societies, and community organizations that have been offered, with a total of 2,320,615 participants.
We are really proud to showcase a diverse array of Minnesota's authors, including Kao Kalia Yang, Marcy Rendon, Carolyn Hallbrook, Anton Tour, Louise Erdrich, and Kim Park Nelson. Librarians across Minnesota are committed to honoring the experience of all Minnesotans, and we're intentional about seeking arts and cultural heritage programming from diverse communities. Using the 12 regional public library systems ensures access of programming in every corner of the state. Legacy programs that have been provided by these legacy dollars improve the quality of life for individuals and spark community engagement. They provide free and equitable access to the arts, cultural experiences, and educational opportunity for all Minnesotans. It expands the cultural awareness, develop a sense of history, and create connections between community and local artists, and provide opportunity for creative and innovation through the arts. It supports Minnesota artists, historians, authors, and more, and it showcases the rich historical and cultural stories of Minnesota. And with that, I believe I have a couple testifiers.
Okay, let's start with Ms. Xiong here. Do state your name for the record.
My name is Amanda Xiong. Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. I am a staff member at the St. Paul Public Library, and I'm here to testify on SF 2448 for legacy funds. Investing in arts and heritage means investing in the next generation. The library is a heart for some communities because it is the community center, the art center, and the historical center. These funds provide libraries the opportunity to invest in intergenerational communities through programs from local authors, artists, presenters, and performers. One of the transformational programs with the legacy funds allotted to us is ReBrave. Now in its 12th year, ReBrave is our city's citywide intergenerational reading initiative that centers the power of book to ignite empathy and help us think big ideas to move St. Paul forward. Other impactful programs in the past year in St. Paul using legacy funds were Hispanic Heritage and Asian American and Pacific Islander AAPI Heritage Months. Both events brought local artists and presenters to library space to provide opportunity for community members to learn, grow, and discover in those heritages. Because of programs, staff who self-identified as Hispanic and AAPI felt encouraged and empowered to share their culture, history, and background experiences with their colleagues. We were able to invest in our communities and in our colleagues. So in closing, thank you for giving me the time to testify on such an impactful bill for St. Paul Public Library. Libraries invest back into intergenerational communities with the help of legacy funds. Libraries across our state are more than buildings with books and have created legacies in our community by investing, bridging, and making connections for community members that will have lifelong impact. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our two testifier on remote. Either you can begin and state your name for the record.
I'll go ahead and start. My name is Erin Smith. I'm the director of the Viking Library System. Good afternoon, Chair and committee members, and thank you for welcoming us today to testify. Viking Library System is located in west central Minnesota. We serve the counties of Douglas, Grant, Otter Tail, Pope, Stevens, and Traverse. And we're one of 12 regional public library systems serving Minnesota residents. A special thank you to Senator Kunesh for her support of the vital work of libraries and for authoring Senate File 2448. Minnesota's public library systems, as Senator Kunesh mentioned, have been the fortunate recipients of arts and cultural heritage funding since 2009. And a lot of great work has happened throughout the state and in Viking library systems since arts, cultural, and heritage funding has been available to public libraries. In the Viking library system region, library legacy funding supports arts access in rural communities Viking Library System member libraries include the Browns Valley Public Library with a service population of 682 in Traverse County, and also includes the Hancock Community Library, both located in Stevens County with a service population of 1,306. And with transportation being a significant barrier in rural Minnesota, legacy funding for libraries means that all Minnesotans have access to the arts. A couple of examples of that, a former testifier mentioned Fergus Falls, and one of the ongoing programs that Viking Library System has funded with legacy funds are classes that was called Bring the Loft to You. We're able to bring the Loft Writing Center all the way out here to rural Minnesota. And just yesterday, we offered a class at the Fergus Falls Public Library for teens, which assisted them in learning how to write effective college essays. So the types of programs that are funded can really run the gamut. With Fergus Falls, that also just reminded me of some of the great partnerships we have with Otter Tail County Historical Society. We use legacy funding to bring programming from the Historical Society statewide. So programming that included the history and the historical impact of Gordan Parks and Prince Honeycutt, which were mentioned earlier, to all corners of the county, which is not a small thing. Otter Tail County is the 7th largest county in Minnesota, so it's a pretty broad geography. So thank you for your time and your support for Senate File 2448. We really wouldn't be able to do the things that we do without this funding in libraries.
Thank you very much. To the next testifier.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Jody Wacker, Director of the Minders Community Library in Pipestone, and I'm also a committee member that helps distribute Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage funds to the 26 libraries served in our Plum Creek Library system. So thank you for allowing me to speak in favor of and share the impact of the legacy funds on Minnesota's rural community. In southwestern Minnesota, library legacy funds connect our communities and facilitate cultural, social, and economic growth. In Redwood Falls, Suzanne Fairchild raises sheep, processes wool, and teaches classes on wool felting in local libraries. Not only does this help support her small business, but it also educates others on local art and also our Minnesota agriculture. Sammy Jo Miller, recipient of the 2024 Prairie Disciple Award from the Southwest Minnesota Arts Council, highlights the history of the region through her art, including the completion of 2 library murals. In Tracy, she works with the public library to bring art instruction to adults with developmental disabilities. Through collaborative programming, Marshall Lyon County Library brought Native American author Anton Schroyer to our corner of the state, no small feat. And so collaboration is one of the very fantastic things that libraries do with arts and cultural heritage funding. We are very good, librarians are very, very good at stretching dollars and getting the biggest bang for our buck. So we're very good stewards of that money that you provide us through this legacy funding. In Pipestone, the Pedal to the Metal Traveling Foundry showcased an artistic trade to 111 interested individuals during hands-on summer reading programs, while musician Terrell X taught the fundamentals of beatboxing to an audience ranging from 3 to 70-year-olds. In rural communities where transportation, financial means, and access to tools, services, and supplies are not always easy to come by, library programming is an integral part of our healthy communities. Legacy funds allow libraries across the state to provide these vital and varied access to the arts and Minnesota's culture while supporting small businesses. We are richer communities for it. And on behalf of Minnesota's library patrons, I thank you for listening to just some of the programs that we do with the funds that you provide. So thank you for your support with this Senate File 2448.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wecker and Ms. Smith, for testifying from remote. Any question from members? Senator Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to either the author or the testifier. It looks like in the bill, 2.75 million didn't get spent last year, and you're reauthorizing it to extend it for a year, is that right?
Senator Kunesh?
I don't know that that entire amount was not spent, but I know we are asking to extend that, whatever the balance is, into the next year. Yes.
Senator Green?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, but then you're asking for another $6 million for not only for the same year, but also for 2027. Be nice to have a breakdown of where the money was and wasn't spent if you're going to be asking for that much more. That's a pretty good chunk of money when it looks like you maybe didn't even spend much more than half of it the year before. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that a question or just a remark? Just a remark. Okay, I think there's a formula for the library. So there's a library system, there's a formula going. If you want formal confirmation, Mr. Mueller here can speak to that, but there's a formula that, a lot, the dollar reassigned.
Mr. Chair, if he's got time and wants to do it, that's fine, but otherwise he can send it to me too. Because we've got, I think, quite a few more bills to get through, so.
Yes, he'll give you the information and the formula. So any other comment or remarks? Senator Kunesh, closing remark?
Sure. I think it's really important to recognize the value of these libraries in our communities, and every one of us, are supported by these libraries within our community. But I do want to point out why it is so important that we continue to support our libraries and our museums. On March 14th, an executive order by the Trump administration announced its plan to eliminate the Institute for Museum and Library Services to the maximum extent consistent with applicable law. The order states that the IMLS, along with 6 additional entities, including the U.S. Agency for Global Media and the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars at the Smithsonian Institute, shall reduce the performance of their statutory functions and associated personnel to the minimum presence and future required by the law. So there obviously is a concerted effort to strip our libraries and our museums of the resources and the opportunity to our, not only our constituents, but across the country. The IMLS is an independent federal agency that plays a key role in distributing congressionally approved funds to libraries, museums, and archives in all 50 states, plus 5 U.S. territories and 3 sovereign countries. The American Library Association published a ringing defense of the IMLS on March 15th, condemning the White House assault on the agency, and stated, by eliminating the only federal agency dedicated to funding library services, the Trump administration's executive order is cutting off at the knees the most beloved and trusted of American institutions and the staff and services that they offer. Further asserting that our nation's 125,000 public, school, academic, and special libraries deserve more, not less support. Libraries translate 0.003% of the federal budget into programs and services used by more than 1.2 billion people every year. And this is not the first time Trump tried to eliminate the IMLS. In Minnesota, these services, these grants and dollars, provide money to the Walker Art Center, to the Science Museum of Minnesota, to the University of Minnesota's Goldstein Museum of Design, to Lower Sioux Indian Community, to the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, to the Ramsey County Historical Society, to the Minnesota Chippewa Tribe Mille Lacs Band, the Science Museum of Minnesota, Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians, and the Minnesota Department of CFL Library Development and Services. And so, Mr. Chair, this is not the time to cut these funds. This is the time to increase those funds and expand those funds as best we can. And again, I wish we had our GOP members here. Not a one is here to hear this message. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Kunesh. And thank you for your remark and also testimony and testify as well. We'll lay Senate File 2448 for possible inclusion.
Senator Xiong, Senator Hur.
Yes, Senator Johnson Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Kunesh, I just wanted to thank you for bringing that up. The value of our local and regional libraries is infinite. It's just absolutely infinite. It was my favorite place to go as a child, continues to be my favorite place to go as an adult. And I'm so grateful for your work as I call it a librarian. I know that's not what it's called now, a media specialist. But thank you for this, and I strongly encourage our support for this bill, because I too am afraid of what's going to happen to our libraries as we move into these dark times without federal funding. So thank you, Senator.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Senator Kunesh, for bringing this bill forward. Next, we'll hear Senator Hoffman's bill. Is Senator Hoffman ready? Senator Hoffman, Public Television, Senate File 2113.
Nojong Chichia, Senator Hur and Chair and members. And with me is Senate File 2113. It's the legacy grants for Minnesota Public Television Association. You could probably tell a few stories about your work, Senator Hur, but the Public Television Association has been receiving grants since legacy funding began under the statute, and then all 6 of the public TV stations have been producing programs, arts, history, cultural heritage, and here to present more is our friend Patty Mester, Randy Dietrich, and Bill Straczynski, if you need, but these 2 will be the ones to go. So, Senator, there you go.
Well, welcome. Anybody can go first, and state your name for the record before your testimony.
Bill's going to go first.
Okay. Welcome. Welcome, Mr. Straczynski.
Thank you for being such a good Uber there, Senator Hoffman. I'm Bill Straczynski, Senator, and welcome. Pleased to be here today. I've represented public television for 43 years, the Capitol. I have great passion for it. And every time I come before this committee, I always feel as though I'm back in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood again. You're so warm and friendly. And Fred Rogers was sitting right here, right now. He would say, thank you for all you do for public television. And I like each and every one of you just the way you are. So thank you for that. I just want to give a quick overview, very quick, because you heard some of the legacy numbers before. We're an important and impactful player in the world of programming for serving our communities. First of all, our legacy-funded staff for programs, jobs created last year, full-time and part-time, are almost 150 jobs we created through legacy and through this funding. We broadcast over 1,063 hours last year of legacy programs in our stations. We reached audiences of almost 3 million people. And our legacy content is streaming online available. We've had 2 million web views just last year. And I think over the years, it'd be tens of millions of web views. So we're quite pronounced in that area. And then, and finally, educational materials presented was 108 hours of program of 108 programs. And I want to turn it over to Patty Mester, who is our CEO of PBS North. Before I do, I just want to tell you, Mr. Chairman, an example of the reach and impact of small public television stations like PBS North. They created a program called Northern Nights and Starry Skies that was accompanied with lesson plans. The story is compelling and relevant to the point that it's been aired and used by teachers in all 50 states. That was developed about northern Minnesota, and it's a very popular program. That's the kinds of things we do with legacy. Ms. Mester, I'll turn it over.
All right. Thank you.
To state your name for the record, welcome.
Thank you, Chair Hur and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you today. For the record, my name is Patty Mester, and I represent the Minnesota Public Television Association, which I will refer to as the MPTA. The MPTA is not just 6 independent nonprofit public television stations. It is a vital public service, an essential thread in the fabric of Minnesota that connects people through powerful storytelling, lifelong learning, and unfiltered access to our shared history. We are here today with a request of $5 million per year for the coming biennium, which is a modest 5% increase. But what that investment truly represents is something far greater, an opportunity to continue building bridges of understanding across our state, preserving stories that define who we are, and making sure every Minnesotan, regardless of where they live or what they earn, can access content that informs, inspires, and unites us. Consider our recent statewide Veterans History Initiative, made possible through your support of legacy funding. We have collected 23 stories from across Minnesota, stories of courage, resilience, and sacrifice. From the Cold War's presence in Duluth to the life of a 102-year-old World War II veteran in southwestern Minnesota, to the experiences of a young woman from southwestern Minnesota as well who served in Iraq. These stories are not just records of the past, they are living testaments to the spirit of Minnesotans. The response to this initiative has been profound. The Duluth Cold War documentary alone reached more than 4 million online viewers worldwide. We ask, what does this tell us? And it tells us, while our focus is on Minnesotans, our compelling, authentic storytelling is at the forefront, and people listen. People care, and they are moved by it, whether it is within the Minnesota borders or beyond. But the impact of this work extends beyond viewership. These stories will soon have a permanent place in the new Minnesota Military Museum, Military and Veterans Museum, making them accessible to countless Minnesotans who may not have heard otherwise. So our vision doesn't stop here. As we prepare for the nation's 250th anniversary in 2026, we will join filmmaker Ken Burns in sharing America's story on a national scale. And Minnesota's story, its unique contributions, its heroes, its communities, deserves to be a part of that moment. Chair Hurd, members of the committee, the funding we are asking for today is not an investment in us, it is an investment through us. It's an investment that flows directly back to Minnesota's communities through free, accessible content that connects classrooms, living rooms, and public spaces all across the state. For more than 50 years, we've been building trust and delivering quality programming that Minnesotans can rely on, and we are proud of that legacy. But we are even more excited about what the future holds. So thank you for your ongoing support and the opportunity to continue serving this state we all cherish. I would be honored to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Ms. Messer. To the next testifier, go ahead, state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Randall Dietrich, Executive Director of the Minnesota Military and Veterans Museum at Camp Ripley. Chairman Hurd and committee members, MPTA is an exceptional partner to the museum and, I believe, to the state's more than nearly 300,000 veterans. In addition to the broadcast of these documentaries, we've worked together to showcase them at the Vietnam War 50th Anniversary Remembrance at the Mall of America last June, and as an annual film festival on Veterans Day. Documentaries currently in production cover the breadth and depth of the veteran experience. As the result of one of these documentaries, 4-star General Paul Nakasone from Minnesota has agreed to provide a keynote address on the importance of national service and all that entails in its many forms next summer to coincide with the grand opening of our new museum and the nation's 250th birthday. MPTA Productions have informed our thinking as we're developing new galleries. Vesey Memorial Hall will serve as the spine of this new 40,000 square foot facility. General John W. Vesey was America's Cold War soldier and statesman. To be sure, the Cold War documentary that Patty had mentioned will help us pair Vesey's story with that story of many other Minnesotans. In closing, we look forward to including these documentaries in our archive for the benefit of future generations and sincerely appreciate the ongoing partnership with MPTA and the legacy funds that fuel it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any question from members? Come. Senator Hoffman.
Do you remember, Mr. Chair, when John Vesey was at in Brooklyn Park, we were at Bush of, what was it? Bush, I can't say that word.
Bussaman.
Thank you, Bussaman. Do you remember that?
It was like
I
just
did.
to be in his presence was like awe, and to hear his name, you just go, wow, it's Minnesota's own person. So, Senator, I guess you're going to lay this over. This has absolutely been a great investment for Minnesota, and we continue to reap the benefits of good public television. And I'm absolutely honored to be the author again of this bill. So, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hoffman. And just for those who's not familiar in Hmong, Senator Hoffman said, "Nya rong xiong chia," that's Happy New Year. So, Senator Hoffman, Happy New Year to you and public television.
Happy New Year every day to you.
So we'll pass Senate File 2113 for possible inclusion. I'm going to change the agenda a little bit because I see Senator Fateh is in the audience here. Senator Fateh, why don't you come forth and present your bill, being that I'm actually, next will be two of my bills, and we have about 6 items left. Two of my bills, and then followed by Senator Xiong and Senator Pappas. I don't see neither of the senator here yet, but Senator Fateh, to your bill, Senate File 2054.
Thank you so much, Senator Her. I'll be brief. This is a bill I've brought in here before in the past. This is an appropriation for the Somali Museum. The Somali Museum has done great work, not just in Minneapolis, but statewide, in terms of educating the community on the Somali culture, but also working with the Somali community and the youth in culture preservation, language, arts. They have many programs from youth programming to dance. And they have a lot of community events throughout the year, including their biggest event, which is the Somali Museum annual anniversary, which holds 1,000+ people every year. They've collected a lot of Somali artifacts in their museum, and a lot of arts, and a lot of different things that folks can come in and travel from all over to come in and experience. And they just recently moved a little bit ago to a new location in South Minneapolis. And with that, I'll pass it over to our testifier, Mr. Osman, who is the founder of the Somali Museum.
Welcome, and do state your name for the record. I'm always very mindful. I don't want to say their name first because then they have to repeat, so I always say welcome. So welcome, state your name for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks for all committee. I'm so glad to testify the appropriate legacy bill. My name is Osman Ali. Dear committee, we are asking for $1 million just to start with the budget for the calendar year 2025, I think, after June, and $1 million for the calendar year of 2026. The Somali Museum's goal is to celebrate, preserve, and advance Somali culture, art within the Somali American community, and build understanding and relationship between Somalis and non-Somalis, as well as across the different generations. Our institution is museum and cultural center. For the museum visitors who comes for tour, we share our programs with the communities where they learn about the artifacts, objects, and the history of East African, especially the Somali history. Over the past 14 years of programming, we performed and shared with different communities and neighborhoods different programs, example, summer dance classes and performance of 80 to 100 members of youth weekly attend from Minnesota counties. Finger weaving classes, Somali Culture 101, traveling exhibits, kids storytelling, Brambor class using drums, summer fair for youth, Somali cultural event once every year, audience comes over 1,500 to 2,000 attend, just to celebrate with their culture, and they see themselves who they are and where they come from. Arts and Cultural Community Celebration. It's a cultural heritage gathering event. We host every year 200 to 240 from 18 different communities. In this year, it will hold in April 12. So every community present their traditional culture, and they perform, they bring their, culture and their dance. So that's together the communities will build a good relationship between them and more understanding. To maintain all these programs, we need to increase the capacity of our staff, space, and programs to fill the gap that disables us to fulfill all the requests that the communities need. Without getting the legacy funding, we requested we will be disabled from many activities because of lack of enough funding. We have sharing all these programs daily with neighborhood communities, public charter schools, general public, government sectors, hospitals, libraries, and everywhere. We move it now to Midtown Global Market. We can host up to 80 visitors at a time, especially every week we have school field trips that they come, every week. Last Friday, we sent back 30 students because the space was not fit. They were over 100. So the previous space was, just for hosting was only 25 guests. I hope you consider the request, and we have upcoming events, April 12, Cultural Heritage Gathering. Youth on May, Youth Festival, Art Festival, Spring Showcase Dance Troupe event in Faribault and St. Claude and Minneapolis. June, Lake Street Summer Festival, Star of Unity concert of Ordway Hall in St. Paul. In August, dance class, weaving workshop, poetry in nature, October 12th anniversary. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ali.
Listen.
Any member has questions or comments? I have a question like I did ask earlier too, and thank you, Mr. Ali, for being a pioneer. You brought the Somali Museum here to help us understand the Somali community, and also at the same time helping young children, both non-Somali and Somali, to know more, and also help this Somali children in the future to be proud of their heritage and identity as well. So I really appreciate you being a pioneer at this. My question is that being that in our community the budget is going to be shaved off a little bit by 14%, so it's a little tight now than a couple of weeks ago. The past request was a little less than $1 million each year. So would the project be scalable? Also, Senator Fateh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the project. So the Somali Museum is asking for a little bit more because they've seen a significant increase in demand in folks coming to visit the location, significant increase in the number of attendees to their programs, but also their anniversary as well. So with that increase in demand, they would like to see the ability to have bigger venues and have bigger programming to accommodate for that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Any other remark or testify from the audience? If not, Senator Fateh, closing remark.
Yeah, as you said, Mr. Osman is a pioneer, and he's been working on this for, 16 years now?
Now it's 14 years.
14 years now. And this has been doing great work in the community, and not just, like I said, in Minneapolis, but statewide, and we're hoping to continue to support him. So thank you so much for giving the opportunity for all of us.
Thank you,
and
Mr. Ali, yes?
I forget to tell you, this is the only Somali museum functioning all around, North America and, and Europe and everywhere, even the whole world. So we are so lucky. We have over 1,500 artifacts and pieces and historical pieces in the museum, and everything in storage. Up to now, we have like 5 storage in Minnesota Historical Society. We have a storage there We had an exhibit in 2017 to 2018, and the exhibit we did in Minnesota Historical Society was one of the best 10 exhibits in that winter, and it's in the newspaper and everywhere.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, and I can attest to the work that you do from the very beginning when you start with just a few small objects, but now it's growing. And keep up the good work. You inspire us in many ways, in both culture and the quality of living here that you have contributed to Minnesota. So thank you very much. And I'm glad to have been the chief author many years in the past and pass the baton to Senator Fateh this year. So,
you're awesome.
All right, Senator Fateh, we will lay over Senate File 2054 for possible inclusion.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stall my bills a little bit, being that I see two of my fellow senators already here. I don't mind going for last, like they're all saying, save the best for last, and I asked my testifiers, see if they can stay a little further. So let's go ahead with Senator Pappas, your bill, followed by Senator Xiong, and then to my bill last.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. It's lovely to be back before your committee with Senate File 911, which is for the Hmong Cultural Center. The Hmong Cultural Center has successfully carried out a legacy grant direct appropriation over the past 2 years. In 2024, the Hmong Cultural Center Museum served more than 2,000 in-person visitors and more than 70 schools and other groups from across Minnesota and Wisconsin have booked field trips in the center's recently expanded 2,000 square foot storefront museum just 4 blocks from the Capitol on University Avenue. Kang instrument classes at the Hmong Cultural Center in 2024 taught more than 50 children and youth how to play the Kang instrument, which is an essential part of Hmong culture. In May 2024, the center's annual Kang and Hmong Music Festival, the only one of its kind in the United States, attracted more than 2,000 visitors on a Sunday to River Center in downtown St. Paul to celebrate Hmong folk arts and culture. To sum up, if this project is funded over the next 2 years, Minnesota residents will have greater opportunities to learn about Hmong history in Minnesota, Hmong achievements in the state, and Hmong culture more generally, along with Hmong folk arts traditions. It will also lead to increased learning and knowledge about the Hmong cultural heritage in Minnesota by helping support Kang instrument and wedding and funeral song classes, as well as the annual Kang and Hmong Arts Festival. The proposed budget builds strongly on the Hmong Cultural Center's heritage over the past 33 years, teaching the public about Hmong culture and history. It's also strongly related to the key guiding principle of the Legacy Fund. Quote, arts, history, and cultural heritage programs will engage our diverse communities from every corner of the state in celebrating the richness of our differences while building greater understanding and connection to the values that bind us together. Certainly a message that's really relevant today. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Lee, who's the Executive Director at the Hmong Cultural Center.
Welcome, and do state your name for the record.
Thank you, Senator. And my name is Xiong Lee. I'm the Executive Director of the Hmong Cultural Center for over 22 years. Thank you for all the members of the committee. Today I'm here to testify about the Hmong Cultural Center's legacy bills. The Hmong Cultural Center is located 4 blocks from the state capitol, and visitors at the Hmong Cultural Centers learn about the Hmong culture, history, and contribution to the state of Minnesota, and the Hmong folk art traditional through class and Hmong library, and the unique of storefront we call museum that teach through cultural object, art, and display panels and interactive video stations in the library and the museum. Hmong Cultural Center has taught thousands of children, youth, adults from all walk and life about Hmong cultural traditional since its foundings 33 years ago. Our museum is open to all public daily in University Avenue in St. Paul and serve the Hmong over 95,000 Hmong in Minnesota, as well as members of the broader community thinking to learn more about Hmong as their neighbor. Over the past 2 years, Hmong Cultural Center has successfully carried out a legacy grant to support programs including museum, library, Hmong instrument class, and Hmong folk song and Hmong folk art festival that share with the community and rich history and cultural heritage of Minnesota. If our cultural education program, art festival, library, museum, art, and art gain funding over the next 2 years, thousands of Minnesota residents will have greater opportunity to learn about the Hmong history in Minnesota and Hmong achievement in the state, and the culture and the Hmong folk art form at the Hmong Cultural Center and Museum. And thank you, Senator Pappas, that's sponsoring our bells here. So thank you so much, and thank you, Senator, and thank you to the committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee, for your testimony. Any question from members? I just want to add on, I heard Senator Pappas talk about the classroom, the Hmong classroom at the Hmong Culture Center. And this is just a little background history. I have a thing in my office. It's an instrument about on-link long. And in some history or in some association to history, there's no known fact, but they say that's the predecessor of the harmonica. Japanese and Chinese probably adapted from Hmong to make a smaller size, which is about forearm size or hand size, that are very similar design. And later on, Chinese shared to Marco Polo, which the Italian take it as a harmonica and derivative it to French. So just a little back history that is not formal history. And while you're talking, I Googled it, and it does reflect the fact that Marco Polo learned from the Chinese on how to design harmonica. And
Senator Hur, we should have had you bring the instrument and demonstrate it for all of us.
I didn't, Senator Pappas, I didn't know you were reference to the thing class.
Next time.
Otherwise, yeah, but my office is open. You can come and see. So, Senator Pappas, any last remark?
That was my last remark, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right. So we'll
All right,
lay
thank
over
you.
Senator Pappas' bill, Senate File 911, for possible inclusion. Next is Senator Xiong. Welcome. And the testify do come over to the table.
Yeah.
Anytime you're ready.
Thank you, Senator Hur, and members of the committee. I have before you Senate file. I want to first introduce, let you guys know I have a Senate file here that's requesting funding to talk about the oral stories of our Hmong veterans of the Secret War in Laos, a conflict that began in 1961 to 1975. I know many of you serving here at the legislature have heard quite a bit about the Hmong story and the Hmong Secret War in Laos during the Vietnam War, where the Hmong were recruited by the CIA to fight against the spread of communism in Southeast Asia. And over 35,000 Hmong SGU soldiers lost their lives. And now their families have chosen to move to Minnesota and to make Minnesota a home. Today in Minnesota, there are about 400 veterans that are still alive. And so this is a project that is looking to keep their oral stories alive, to ensure that their legacies and stories from the Secret War live on. One thing is that around 80 to 90% of the SGU veterans do not know how to read or write, and thus no record keeping of their history is available. Being a second generation Hmong, born and raised here in America. I know me and Senator Hurd, you and I, we've shared lots of stories, but there are still villages, there are American CIA officers that we don't know about. My grandfather passed, he was a Secret War veteran, and actually, whoever their lobbyist was very smart, because there's a picture of my grandfather here in their handout here. And so, my grandfather passed away when I was 10, and so we weren't old enough to really understand what was going on. And so, as our veterans have been leaving us and passing and taking all of their stories away with them, we would like to use this short period of time that we have left with them to keep their oral stories and to learn from them. And I also have with me Captain Xiong, and so this is Captain Xiong. So, as Senator Hurd, my dad was a veteran. My grandfather was a veteran, but my dad was, he fought with the rebels when the communists took over. And, Grandpa Xiong is one of the commanders there. And I still remember him telling stories when we were little about him, being a young boy and having to lead a group of soldiers into the jungles, right? And so these are the stories that we would like to keep alive. And these are the men that made me and probably you interested in politics and having a desire to serve more than just ourselves, but to be part of a bigger community. And so I have with me First Sergeant that will help provide a testimony to the committee.
Okay, thank you.
And I will translate, or maybe Megan will translate to the best of our ability.
Yeah. Thank you, Captain Xiong, for being here as well, and then the Hmong veterans. You're the reason that Hmong community have grown here in the United States, and I know that Senator Xiong already talked a little bit about the 35,000 Hmong who sacrificed their lives to rescue Americans. At that time, the population of Hmong in Laos was no more than 100,000, so 35,000 is a lot to us, almost wipe out our entire population from Laos. And so that we find Minnesota as a new home, a safe haven. And so, Mr. Vang, do state your name for the record.
Sorry, I'm not very fluent in English, so I'm going to have this lady next to me translate.
legacy nó giờ ít trực chiến rồi bây giờ ít nhiều cú xã thì chia trực chiến rồi bây giờ mong chứ còn nói như bộ phận cho family American people family rồi lúc cú bao thì giờ America thì mong như ở lúc cái thì cú xã thì giờ ít trực chiến rồi bây giờ mong thì chỉ thành trực chiến rồi cho America cho family nhau tới chuyện nào thế.
I think that it's, first and foremost, I'm a representative in SGU, and I will also like to share that I believe it's not only important to the Hmong community, but also very important that everybody know about our history.
Thế rồi cú ít thế mong mà bé cú hạt thế bé ở lửa cho sai thế ở đó ba anh cả tổ sư cho trả yên vô nhân đại bé ta chế đây ta chỉ ít thế mà cho nên trong trả tới chỉ cú mà cú mới cho safety care hoặc anh cả ta cái chuyện này là ôi cho léo cho bé nè chỉ cú mới cho tới nhất này cú mới phe cho sau này từ xã bao hạt thế giờ bộ mua trứng là chỉ trứng nữa nè.
Just for the records, I know that there's been a lot of, I guess you could say, politics. But however, I have some certificate here just stating who I am and what I did during the war. So I'm going to pass these out to everyone.
Cái quyết định đó mà cái khu nó ở trong nhà nó lúc trước hiện tôi xa chọc lâu nữa là chỉ những khu là cũng muốn lùa to chỉ trong nó sẽ mua pet Nepal.
I just want to let everybody know that this document is very old. It is back in 75, and this is the best that I was able to preserve it.
Khó của thì chứng legacy ấy khó chứng là bây giờ HU khó của cho chuyện này họ khó của họ ITU vì thế bây tôi thấy cho nó bây giờ ITU cho thấy hẳn sau đó của tôi chú trọng đó làต่อไปช่วงนั้นจะนึกว่าปลาอะไรที่เราแต่ตัวเสียเลยจะเนี่ยจะจงชาไปจะจึงเนาะคนเรากูจะได้แต่จริงๆเราไปจะอีอยู่ที่อยากเข้าขวาจะไปจะมีตู้มีหยอจะเส้นลูกเส้นหลาน
Speaking from SGU standpoint, it's very important that we preserve our legacies because those who lead and affect and were infected, especially families, a lot of them are not with us today. And I think that I believe that preserving our history and legacy is very important, but if we don't continue, we're only going to continue to lose them.
เขากูให้เดินวิธีกูสาที่กูน่ะเท่ากูในสถานที่กูอยากอาจจะตัวมีอย่างมองนะฮะตัวนี้ก็นะกูอยากอีตัวมีอย่างมองอยากจ้าจ๋ารู้จีนตัวจ้าจ๋าจะกูที่มองท่านไหนแต่是你那กูอยากตัวมอตมองกูเทเลดีเที่ยงตัวนี้ตัวรู้ที่เช่นนะแต่是ส่วนไรส่วนจงไปจะโอ้ฮัลโหลโอเคนะจะเนี่ยแล้วที่ปลอดตายแล้วที่ชีตัวตัวที่เช่นนั้นเที่ยแล้วตัวที่เช่นนั้นแล้วอย่างนั้นปลอดตายเลยอย่างนั้นกูเสียเพิ่งให้เดียลิงก์สีอีกขั้นจุดจริงเลยไปจะมอง
Many of you look at me and see that probably I'm just another ordinary person. But remembering as far back as 62, I think about when leaving and immigrating, many didn't get the opportunity that I did, and many don't get the opportunity now just because the fact that they're no longer here to share their stories as me. To be honest, I'm just a smaller portion of what everything of our legacy was about.
กูอยากแค่เนี่ยมีจีโร่เนี่ยเดียวิลจะไปเที่ยวจะไปออกตัวเสียวิเดียเจอเลยกูจนได้กูไม่แพ้เลยเนี่ยพอนะก็ กูต่อเขาเหลืออีกต่อเนี่ยนะเราหัวradio operation แต่是เดียจะไปอยากจะว่าก็จะ说呢จะยิ่งย้อนเนี่ยเดี๋ยวไปหลายตัวจะยิ่งหงอเมริกาจะยิ่งป้องตัวภายหลังเนี่ยหนึ่งเกี่ยวละตัวหนึ่งป้องรงเลยว่าระยะหนึ่งจงเดเลยว่าจะนั่นจะใส่engineer เลยสาปคนจะชับเลยปีตัวอย่างเดียนำมาลุ่ยงป้องเลยตัวนั้นเป็นยิ่งจีตัวแต่สิ่งนี้ป้องตัวแบบเต้เลยนั่นเดี๋ยวจีตัวเห็นหุ่นอะไรก็ไปก็จะชวนนะว่าก็ให้
I just want to share the reason that I keep saying that on behalf of CIA, my duty was radio operation, and I have one of the strongest or biggest duty because my duty is to update the status of the pilot and if they survived or not.
这边有主个就说呢，个到么呢？来这包的，就应用呢来考 communication 的来是他，他的来本地到都被东南边的啦知道，他东南边的不怎么到些，来有问题个到，然后的东南边的多了之后，来今天不走了，都靠这里被包，就来今天不走了，他人的人也应用得到了，就来今天不走了。 แต่สิ่งละปงเสียหังมาอย่าปงเสียละตัวปงตัวไปเตะเลยแต่สิ่งนี้จิตตัวนี่ยังให้เตียนนี่จิตตัวแต่สิ่งหันเทียจิตตัวนั่นแหละจะน่าจะละกู้เสียทับเลย
For example, my job duty, I have to be very, very efficient with what I did or what I was doing because it's very important that others know the numbers of who's left, whether they're captured or dead or still alive.
จิตอะไรเนี่ยไปกู้ไปจ่อHU เนี่ยไปกู้สปอร์ตเดียโอ้ยิ่งยัวเนี่ยยิ่งยัวอยู่ตัวจิตได้เหมือนตัวไปอยู่ตัวไปเนี่ยแล้วตัวจงบริจาเที่ยวแล้วตัวเขาถือตัวนู้ตัวอย่างนู้แล้วอยู่ตัวไปแต่เนี่ยเราไปสปอร์ตนั่นเลยแต่การติดสิจันเนี่ยมาเนี่ยไปรู้จักเฉยๆมาสมัยเนี่ยเรายิ่งชิบุไปถ่ายจันเนี่ยตัวเฉลี่ยน้อยนะ 他听到古调古啥古着台那些他跟我了解古着别人的人那哪些我真的。
For us SGU, it was very important to know the updates of enemies and their status as well. And I feel that my task or my duty was also a very, very crucial part of the war. Sorry that I'm taking so much time. Therefore, I'll stop here.
Thank you, Mr. Vang, for being here to tell your story. And Ms. Lee, I don't know if you have state your name for the record, Megan Lee. If not, maybe go ahead and state your name for the record, just so we have it.
Thank you. My name is Megan Lee. Mr. Chair and members of the Legacy Committee, thank you guys so much for this opportunity. I'm also a board member of this nonprofit organization, SGU Veterans and Families of USA here in Minnesota. First of all, thank you, Senator Hur, and your committee for your support towards our organization. Our organization was able to orally document 73 stories of our veterans and their widows' stories with this past grants. Today, we are asking your committee to support our bill, SF-1576. Our mission is to collect documents, archives, and preserve the oral stories, histories of the last surviving members of the Hmong, Minnesota veterans, who were the CIA's secret army in the U.S.-sponsored secret war in Laos, which was part of the Vietnam War. During the secret war from 1961 to 1975, the CIA recruited, trained, and financed about 40,000 Hmong soldiers at its peak to protect and defend the U.S. foreign military interests inside Laos. As a result, about 35,000 Hmong soldiers were killed in fulfilling this mission. When the secret war concluded in 1975, about 20,000 of these CIA-backed Hmong soldiers escaped to Thailand. Of the 20,000 soldiers, between 5,000 and 7,000, these veterans and their families immigrated to our great state of Minnesota. Majority of these soldiers came with little or no educational background. This resulted in less than 3% of their stories being recorded or documented for historical, educational, and humanitarian purposes. Today here in the state, there are about 400 of these Hmong veterans from the Secret War who are still living. We are racing against time as these remaining veterans are aging, facing health issues, and memory loss. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here. The preservation of these stories are important to me, to our community, and to our state because they serve as human experience and learning resource towards understanding and being informed about their contribution to America's freedom and democracy during the war. They also allow us to learn about our history and the social, political, and economic impacts that these veterans and their families have had on our state when they first arrived here in 1975. To preserve the diverse stories and legacies of a generation that defines who we are as Minnesotans today. We hope that your community will see the enduring value of preserving these veterans' stories and support this bill. Thank you. And sorry, I was getting a little emotional because my father-in-law also served in the war. And now I'll be lucky if he remembers who I am when I visit him. Some days I do. He remembers who I am, but some days I'm a total stranger, so sorry about that.
Thank you, Ms. Lee, for your testimony and translation as well, and Mr. Vang. And thank you, Senator Xiong, for bringing this legislation forward, and documentation is important. I'm just going to interject a little bit, not because of chair, but just a little informational purpose. I'm glad Mr. Vang brought in a copy of probably one of his agreement worth certificate, and if you look at the amounts of how much he get paid per month is on top here when you start is 14 keep, and down below is 26 keep. If you convert it, that's 26 keep is $1.20. So just to let folks know that it's almost seemed that our life, the Hmong SU life, are dispensable. Based on the billions of dollars that Americans spent for the Vietnam War. And this is a testimony of how how low the payment for per month. It's $1.20 per soldier, like Mr. Vang here. And I heard the highest was $12 a month for Hmong soldier at that time. So just little background information. So thank you, Senator Xiong, for bringing this forward too. It's all connected to us. And Ms. Lee, I know you're emotional too. It's all connected to us. So I do get a little emotional myself. Any last remarks, Senator Xiong?
Thank you for your consideration and I hope for your support.
Okay. All right, we'll lay Senate file 1576 for possible inclusion. Thank you very much. Okay, next will be my bill. I'll pass the gavel to Senator McHugh. And I'd like the Asian film, maybe that Asian film, I think. Want them to go first? Okay, you go first. Yeah. I appreciate the patience of the Humanities Center and also Asian Economic Development for them. Allow my liberty to switch them to the very end, but save the best for last, they say.
Nice.
So, Senate File 2048. This bill is important, an important avenue to showcase arts and culture in our Minnesota Asian American community. The intent of the legislation to bring filmmakers, actors, and events to Minnesota that highlight and connect our local talent, bring national attention, and economic opportunity. There is growing demand to share our stories through support of a festival. The resource would be well placed in our local Asian Economic Development Committee. Before I go to the testifier, I want to make an amendment too. I have an amendment in front of you, the A2 amendment.
Very good. Members, you should have the A2 amendment, I think already in our packets.
Yeah, and Madam Chair, I move that we adopt this amendment, the A2 amendment.
Very good. Members, Senator Her offers the A2 amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The A2 amendment is adopted.
Madam Chair, the A2 amendment, just to change the name to a correct name, like I put here Southeast Asian, but actually it's Minnesota Asian Americans, so that's the correction.
Very good, thank you.
And I have here Executive Director Ming Tao to explain the background of his organization and also what he planned to do with the funding for the Minnesota Asian American Film Festival. I also have here next to me is a well-known actor and writer from the Hmong community, known for one of his major role in the Clint Eastwood Gran Torino, Mr. B. Vang. So let's start with Ming first.
Very good. Welcome to the Senate Environment Committee. Look forward to your testimony.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, members of the committee. Thank you, Senator Her. My name is Ming Tao. I'm the Executive Director of Asian Economic Development Association. It is my honor and privilege to be here to ask for your support of the Minnesota Asian Film and Music Festival. ADA is a 15-year-old cultural arts and economic development organization. We have a long history of successful art and cultural programming, including events such as big festivals. For example, our Little Mekong Night Market, which has been around since 2013 and which is happening this year in June, draws 20 to 30,000 people annually. Through these programs, we engage and collaborate with hundreds of artists, performers, and cultural creators every year. And through them, we bring together people all across Minnesota and Upper Midwest to celebrate our cultures in Minnesota. Through the years, our arts and cultural programming has generated over $10 million in economic impact. Our programs have supported numerous jobs, enriched the cultural life in Minnesota, and attract visitors and businesses to our communities. Given our experience at ADA and our expertise and our success, we are expanding our programming to include the Minnesota Asian Film and Music Festival, and we seek your support today, Senate File 2048. With that, I'll turn over to my colleague, Bee Vang.
Thank you for having me here today, Madam Chair, committee members, and Senator Her. My name is Bee Vang, and I'm a Minnesota-based artist, actor, and writer with a background in film and entertainment dating back to 2008. I made my acting debut in Clint Eastwood's Gran Torino and later graduated from Brown University, where I trained in theater arts, performance, writing, and research. But Minnesota is where I grew up and where I call home, and it's why I've come back to this special community. My professional journey has taken me across the country, where I've built meaningful connections with Asian American film festivals, artists, industry insiders, and journalists. As both a former broadcast and print journalist, having written for The Economist, I strove to shed light on stories too often overlooked. Throughout my time spent on both coasts, I've worked with many Asian American film festivals in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Long Beach, California, Boston, and New York City. My engagement spanned both mainstream and independent film making, not only in the US, but also overseas in Asia, collaborating with visionary documentarians and fiction filmmakers who are pushing creative boundaries in their medium. I consulted with Cambodian-American author Long Ong on the film adaptation of her bestseller memoir, First They Killed My Father, which was acquired by Netflix and later directed by Angelina Jolie. I also had the privilege of apprenticing with Laura Poitras at Field of Vision, whose film earned her an Academy Award for Best Documentary in 2016. Since Gran Torino, I've worked as an actor with up-and-coming filmmakers in LA, Italy, Colombia, South Korea, Laos, and Vietnam. With my experience and passion, I am eager to activate my networks to make this film festival happen and elevate Minnesota's place in the filmmaking and entertainment world. Cultural events like this festival are essential for putting our state on the map and on Hollywood's radar. Minnesota has long nurtured legendary artists from Bob Dylan to Prince to the Coen brothers, alongside notable Asian Minnesotan figures such as Sunisa Lee, Ye Vang, James Hong, and myself. This festival will not only highlight our creative richness, but also challenge perceptions of what the Midwest has to offer. Our festival will also serve as a mechanism for retaining talent. Too often, artists have felt compelled to leave Minnesota in search of greener pastures, but LA is no longer the only place where creatives can thrive. The industry is evolving, and the landscape for independent and studio-backed projects is expanding beyond traditional hubs. Minnesota can and should be part of this transformation. Hollywood itself is shifting. There is growing demand for Asian and Asian American stories, as evidenced by the success of Parasite, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Wicked, directed by John M. Chu. This festival has the potential to contribute to that momentum. So beyond cultural and artistic impact, there are also significant economic growth and incentives for hosting this festival. We estimate a $2 million impact, and a vibrant film festival would generate revenue for hotels, restaurants, and event venues. We have the opportunity to cultivate growth of Minnesota's small businesses and support our artistic and creative communities who have already their own retail outlets and performance spaces. The Twin Cities are already home to a vibrant and growing Asian American community. The nation is beginning to take notice. This festival will further solidify our standing as a unique hub in the Midwest for cultural innovation and will showcase the abundance of talent and energy of Minnesota to the world. Thank you. Thank you, committee members and Madam Chair and Senator Her.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Members, are there any questions or discussion that people would like to have about Senate File 2048? Okay, I'll offer that this sounds great. It sounds really exciting. Thanks for sharing. And thank you both for your testimony and the vision behind this. It sounds really great. Senator Hur, would you like to close this off before we set the bill aside?
Yeah, and I have strong trust and faith in the work that Asian Economic Development is doing. The Little Mekong Festival that held every year just down the street here attract thousands and thousands of people, and it's so festive and also benefit our economy as well. And I see that this will be maybe a couple fold, broader than that, but it will be great. I look forward to that festival, but first we got to get that fund through the legacy dollars and need your support.
Very good. Very exciting. All right. Thank you again, everyone. With that, Senate File 2048 as amended is laid over for possible inclusion in the Legacy Omnibus Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're on to the last bill.
The last bill, yeah.
1605.
1605, I'd like to call my testifier forward, and I'll begin with my introduction too, if that's okay.
Very good.
Madam Chair, member, thank you for the opportunity to present Senate File 1605, a bill that would continue and expand the incredible work being done by Minnesota Humanities Center. Through responsible fiscal management and a deep commitment to our community, Minnesota Humanities Center uses legacy fund to leverage federal and state funding to amplify its impact across the state. Through this important funding, Minnesota Humanities Center collaborates with individual organizations and communities to bring transformational humanities program into the lives of Minnesotans throughout the state. The work of Minnesota Humanities Center is wide and diverse across the state and include works such as Native Nation of Minnesota, Veterans Program, Community Connection Event, Indigenous Program, and K-12 Educator Institute. With me here is Mr. Kevin Lindsay to testify. Director.
Thank you, Senator Hur and members of the committee. Molly, let's see. We'll see if it's loaded here. This code here. I think one of the nice things as it relates to being able to sit and hear the testimony within the Legacy Committee is to see all the respective connections and to the questions of recipients of legacy funding, making connections and leveraging opportunities. I can say firsthand knowledge of how the Library Association has partnered with not just ourselves, but with other partners to leverage legacy opportunities all throughout the state. The last testifier, the respective work that they have done within the community, and also because of the actions taken by the legislature in the last couple of years to create opportunities for filmmakers, Minnesota is being seen. And those opportunities that we've seen kind of in the grant area for individuals to receive legacy funds, I think that those are paying dividends to what the legislature has done in creating rebate opportunities and programming opportunities for filmmakers within the state. So I've come before and testified as it relates to the Minnesota Humanities Center being in existence for more than 50 years. Again, the vision of the organization is a just society that's curious, connected, and compassionate, curious that it comes to conversations with open hearts and open minds. Connected, as Dr. King reminds us, we see ourselves tied to a garment of mutual destiny. What impacts one impacts all. And compassionate, where we're motivated by what we've heard in relationship with others to build a stronger society together.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure all the members know that we also have a packet of these slides in our in here too. So if people wanted to follow along, they can. Sorry, please continue.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for that reminder for all the members of the committee that the materials there is a hard copy in your committee packet. That mission of sparking understanding of ourselves, our communities, our histories through stories and experiences. Again, the testimony here about some immersive experiences, also the first person, and then also collecting those stories. Again, the power of what the state has done in creating a legacy fund can't be underscored. This is really significant, what we have done as a state, and draws us together. With that, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our request for $2.5 million for 26 and 27, and specifically how we're going to use these respective dollars to further connection within the state, bringing people together through the convening. And the catalyst is what I would say is what happens when individual creatives get in rooms together and they imagine how to build a stronger Minnesota. And that shows up in a wide variety of different ways. If we go to the next slide, please. Over the last 4 years, the Dakota Ojibwe Language Symposium has been a partnership with the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council. We've seen tremendous growth over that respective time period. We are seeking to partner and take that relationship even deeper with the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council with the dollars that we receive, that we possibly could receive through an increase in our program grants. The Native American Live Series, we've had conversations with Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux community, again, to the library conversation of putting a book of each of the Native American Live book series within every library within the entirety of the state. And then for Why Treaties Matter, we have partnered with a variety of scholars as well as 11 tribes to focus and meet the challenge of Indian education for all in the state of Minnesota for creating program from K through 5. Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux at Hochikachiti, bringing more students to that respective site and then providing more programming for social studies teachers throughout the state. It is no secret in the last 30 years this legislature charged the Minnesota Humanities Center to create humanities program education materials for school districts. We've really embraced that by having folks on the Minnesota Humanities Center sit in on ethnic studies and Holocaust and task force, and now the implementation of those respective task force groups. That's given us insight as to how to partner with and assist with school districts that are interested in doing that respective work. We already have three symposiums set for the Minnesota Humanities Center already over the upcoming summer because of the respective demand. If we could go to the next slide. Senator Herr mentioned earlier about our work with veterans. There's new mini-fronts programming. There's a greater demand and partnership within that space. Mickey Huntington, who spoke at our annual event, is also a professor within Mann State, has talked about how we could expand and go deeper within our relationship of how teachers can support veterans in our colleges and institutions throughout the state. We had a very good conversation with Congressman Stauber about being able to support that respective effort. We'll see if that happens. Maybe this would be an opportunity of partnership at the state and federal level. Capitol Mall Learning from Place. We're going to have 5 different events for poets all throughout for Poetry Month in April. One of them will be where if you were interested as an aspiring poet to work with an established published poet, Jesse Atherton, in a phoretic exercise where you would take various lines from the poems that you would make and then as a group then would make a poem. We've done this successfully at the State Capitol Mall. The Objects of War program, that storytelling circle, we piloted that just a year ago, and the feedback has been tremendous. And I think you probably just saw a little taste or a little flavor of that when Senator Phong Her showed what was actually paid to individuals within the war. Those tangible remnants, those tangible things that we can share with one another, those bring us closer and create greater understanding. And we're very proud of what we've been able to do at the Objects of War program. If we go to the next slide. Expanding school district partnerships. Again, as you know, within the past year, we had the very first site in Minnesota to be recognized as part of the national, I'm sorry, let me back up a second. Within the last year, one church in St. Paul was identified as having connections to the Underground Railroad. The National Park Service identifies locations and has what they refer to as the Underground Railroad Network to Freedom. Entities that are identified on that network to freedom are eligible for federal dollars. Until last year, there was no site in Minnesota which was recognized under this program. So we're working with local historians all throughout the state to do a mapping exercise for teachers to, again, highlight what Minnesota's role was and the time period before slavery. And we think that this would also be an economic benefit for local communities. We're hoping that these extra dollars will allow us to do such work. The last time I was here, Senator Hurd mentioned how important it was for students to have some of their voice be heard, to facilitate conversations within classrooms. On this respective slide, I'd like to draw your attention to Crossroads. That is a book that we published a couple of years ago, and this is where young Somali students had an opportunity to have their voices heard, and we had an adult editor of the process, but not a writer, an editor of the process. So all of those stories were put within the book, and this allowed teachers to have a jumping off place for conversations within their respective classroom. They found it to be incredibly helpful, and we're hoping with the ethnic studies dollars from last session that some new projects will come either from Hmong, Karen, Somali, or Oromo within that space. Talked earlier about the teacher and professional development, the use of our facility. Again, what we're seeing is a greater demand from teachers, and this committee should know, again, we embrace that, where we have teachers come over for the READ Act, social studies, in a variety of areas, to be able to use our facility to think about how they can work about tailoring the way in which they deliver education K through 12 within their respective school district. If we go to the next slide. Civic engagement within this space, again, talking about the partnership. I had a chance to use some federal dollars about a year ago to bring Friends of the St. Paul Library, Elaine, and then also the American Indian Library Association, top librarian, to start to think about how we could imagine greater connections and also to think about how we could talk about the history of our state. Obviously, we weren't one of the first 13 states, but what does that mean in the history of our country as we think about the Declaration of 250 and what this now means when we talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for current individuals in the United States. Bringing people together with Sketches of Minnesota, we thought initially that we would probably do 6 shows in this effort of having people sit and talk about what they love about their town, what do people get wrong about their town, what would they seek to change about their town, and what would they hope for their town. The demand was so great that we had to do 10 shows, and even in the course of last year, we found cities already raising their hand and saying they want us to come back for 2025. So again, when we talk about having 85 people show up in a town of 843 like Emily, or the fact that we can say that we're proud to be located in St. Paul, but we are willing to go all the way to International Falls or as far south as Austin, right? We put in a couple miles on this respective program, and I think it paid dividends. The last thing that I would say within this space is that we're also very fortunate to have one of the few justice and democracy centers with the federal courts here in the nation, and it's located now in St. Paul, and we're hoping to, again, leverage that opportunity with teachers and students. And again, I appreciate your patience staying with us to this hour. The last thing that I would tell you, the Latino poetry places that we call home, again, partnership with libraries that we were very happy to be one of the few states, what they like to sometimes say in the Midwest, to receive grant dollars to be able to tell the story from perspectives of Latinos. And we're doing that throughout the state of Minnesota. And lastly, what I will say is Museum on Main Street with Smithsonian It has been a program, again, where we're delivering it all throughout the entirety of the state of Minnesota. I love the comment about not by us, but through us. And I really take that to heart, and I know everybody at Minnesota Humanities Center would say the same, is that we are facilitators of these dollars and opportunities and partnerships, and we're very glad and proud to be able to support all the things that you would like us to do on behalf of everyone in the state of Minnesota. So thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation and testimony. Members, any questions or discussions? Okay, not seeing any. Senator Hur, do you have some final thoughts?
Director Lindsay already explained to us in great length, so they're doing great programs. You know, it's very inclusive, empowering to our diverse community, from European native to New American, like East African and Southeast Asian. So it's very inclusive. So ask for your support for them ongoing, but support them another year. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Excellent. Excellent work. All right. With that, Senate File 1605 is laid over for possible inclusion in the Legacy Omnibus Bill. And Senator Hur, would you like me to go ahead and adjourn?
Yes, please.
All right. Very good. With that, members, with no further business today, the Senate Environment, Climate, and Legacy Committee is adjourned.